Atori said, while to urge the Kidono old man with both hands. I hurry. The old man remains to be pushed out into the corridor in order to called the clerk who went in a hurry toward the store. Before long, 3 people of the tough clerk shirt in a single figure, such as with a stepladder and clubs in the bare foot, has been entered, so as not to be convicted in the other party, and suddenly peeled off the ceiling plate. It means that you try the thief to hand up, in accordance with the orders of the domain of Kidono old man. Grasping in both hands one of the clerk club, and I think rode on top of the stepladder, with great momentum, to just and done, was raised regarding the ceiling board. 1 out, a 2-month, 3-month, because the thing that raised per rapid succession. The ceiling board is torn, make a sound that merry. A moment is a large hole I have love. Now in the light in this me to May, when the manager is held out his flashlight electric lamp. Clerk of the top of the stepladder has received it. Put refers to the neck from the ceiling of the hole, through the attic of the darkness. I looked around and around. A Tory watch shop, a large part of the denominated concrete European-style building. This parlor, since it was between Japan, 1 story was built apart from later. To say that attic, not necessarily less wide, the whole at a glance past saw. I do not have anything. Corner I tried to rely on the light of the electric lamp to row. Z does not rat 1 peaky wow. The clerk say so, got off a stepladder is disappointed. I wish but such should be as not. Eagles I'll look. This time Kidono manager is. With the electric lamp, up to the stepladder, was Nozaki Komi the ceiling. However, in the bottom of the darkness, it where there is no appearance of the decent thing also. It's funny. It is true, but I've heard from around here. I do not the paddle. A Tory Mr. Seems was somewhat relieved. I asked. Yes, Marugiri, there are empty. We do not really a rat 1 peaky wow. Appearance of the thief could not be finally discovered. So, exactly that eerie voice, will, has been sounded from anywhere. Of course, there is no under the edge voice under the thick tatami is, because there is no reason to hear Anani clean. To say that in addition, let's have anywhere to hide location. Oh, magician 20 countenances. I started using again in May unexpected magic when it burn. Surprisingly also surprising, there is no appearance voice. Because I used to say to know the hidden location with the golden tower of genuine. Mr. Atori is not care anymore cares. And will not go away 3 people clerk who, Kidono and the manager and Futari, opened the tatami on the fly, removing the floorboards. Then, I was ordered to try to dig the bottom of the soil to the manager. The old man was Hashori no. Take that there was hoe in under the floor, but was returning dug the location of the heart remember. Eventually, in such as was disappointed voice. Sir, we do not have tower. I have vanished without a trace. It was to report in. When the Atori Mr. hear it, too much of discouragement, while with the sure mochi to it, without any find to hear the mouth, but had been watched in vaguely for a while. The among the underfloor of darkness. Eventually, wonder withstand unexpected such as the one in. It tilts the kokubi. Hey, Kidono-kun. Z's somehow strange. Ever since the eagles buried my there to hear. Except to go to the bathroom. This room did not leave any. If someone is between the eagle of absence even crept here. Raising the tatami. Remove the floorboards. Dug the soil. A fourth nanti out has a tower. Z would have been not at all. The earth guy. Stealing if laug up in what means the I did. Quote. Atori said then mortifying, more than anything, is omamochi that does not accumulate in Wonderland. Watakushi also. You will find a place that was now thinking about it. When was the norm of the house? From the bottom of the eye is the edge of the better of the garden. But there is also a hand that komu yes to the floor. Underneath the eye is the edge of this parlor. Is it because they're nailed a thick plate? Gap is even if there is enough not pass even a puppy. And the floor from the best We have examined in the flashlight, but, after such as yelling yes of human beings, does not have any, because it is a soft soil. If measuring him have been passed under the floor, I do not is supposed to not tell of after it. Quote, Kidono the manager, have a look, such as pinched as if even the fox, it did take a big sigh. Oof 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 oof. I was surprised paddle. 20 before the arm of the countenances. Well is the kind man. The golden tower was certainly give me. Well then, obeo. Oh, again, does not that dismal voice has been sounded either. Exactly 20 countenance full of where you are. It is not even in the hallway. Not a ceiling. It is not even under the floor. Of the other. Where exactly? Will that there's a man alone hide location. Perhaps 20 countenance of the witch. Become a kind of gas that cannot be seen in the eyes. Somewhere in the room. Do you have in standing? Kidono-kun. I'm still that guyman somewhere. I do not visible to the eye. But the difference is not due to have this close. And told her to the store of the person. Please let firm the doorway. Fast. Fasten. We would catch the guy. Quote. A Tory Mr. remarks the mouth to the ear of the manager. Whispered restless. Then another eerie, the full of Hiratashi of. But no matter how, and it is threatening attitude that not to place is not caught the thief. Manager is also the same idea bu. When you hear a good wearing of the master. Flew to immediately towards the shop. Front door. And a look at the beam of the back door. You find a suspicious guy. The people make a big voice collected. And so would Hitore. It was ordered to clerk us. Now at the store is a big fuss to the bottom up. I'm 20 countenances in the house. Locate and beaten up by Chime. Figure of the clerk are dozen are those that have a flashlight with club in hand to hand. Or the front door. Things solidify the back door. Or in partnership with the core. To find the house all over the house. It isn't. Great commotion was, however, as much as a little 1 hour. Until the corner of the store row. Of course, in the storeroom or closet. From the ceiling to the bottom of the edge. But I looked hard all over. Oddly enough, the figure of people seems pirates or where it did not even been discovered. 20 countenances. Again, do you not is in the house. By cladding the wind, Will had fled. In. From where? Table also back also. The entrance of the doorway. Because I was not completely hardened in the clerk. Escape Nanti. Is that exactly the impossible? I think if Kidono-kun. You are. Indeed consent of squid unexpected or not a story. Eagle to even somehow now. Right in front of. That guy is I feel like there. Of this room dream. I feel like I can hear the sound of him a breath is. Quote. Mr. Atori was back to the original of the parlor as a frightened face. While a loincloth look at the purr and restlessly. Did whisper to manager. Even Watakushi. Somehow it will be that kind feel. Because the guy is there a witch. Kidono manager also seems to agree. Then, to the place where they came we are together look blankly in face. And alone of the young clerk came cheerfully. Now, Akechi detective now come on. It was reported. What? Mr. Akechi has come. Check. I was too late. I would have caught as early as the other pair. That person is. Until today, I've been doing exactly was. Large difference than the one heard rumors it. Detective keeps no. Quote. Atori said in fit of anger that was stolen a golden tower. Did speak ill of the terrible detective. Ha ha ha. I terribly good mood seems to us bad. You are. I do and you say did not do anything until today. When the pop scene turning. At the entrance to the room. You unawares of black business suit wearing Kogoro Akechi is standing. Oh. This is I wish was heard that the Akechis. I very much flying. However. I is true of you did not kudasarta anything. Look. Golden Towers is not that had been stolen. Atori said the awkwardness seems did say while laughing bitter. Stolen whether you say you. It's right, foretold, I have been stolen properly. Atori said in Hiratashi up. And the story of the trick that began thinking of Kidono manager. while still pointing at the floor that remained raised tatami, was to talk about the private university that is no longer the golden tower of the real thing. It is, you know, maybe me. A catchy detective is such a thing. Even if not here, the late-hour explanation, the only unexpected said to have been found, was bluntly answer. Edge. You know, it's, isn't it? You. While I know 20 accountants that Yuku steal. Did you waited in silence? Atori, Mr. Surprised, was throat become barbs. Yeah, it is not. Silent, for I had seen. Akechi has Suhara only calm. Do not I what is? On earth, you. Atori said, taken aback, is the plight of not speechless mouth. Akechi, teacher, from you is like a golden tower was stolen. But it looks like Irasharo willing. It is so much. Is not that you were Nasu promised to my husband. I'm sure I'll observe the golden tower and promise it is not that was Nasu. Quote, Kidono managers as Tamara Kane Wasumi Yori in front of the detective. But I've played a promise. I played. It is exactly that of the flame. Golden tower anymore, is not that had been stolen. Ha ha ha, what are you talking? Does golden tower does not have a properly here. Here is not that glowing shiny. While a catchy detective laughish or else funny, I pointed to the golden tower, which is enshrined in the alcove. If, stupid, you what you were you saying? When it's fake, is not that explained so much. Genuine, I had been buried under the floor. It had been stolen. Quote, Atori, Mr. cried, causing the tantrums. Well, please wait. It is if better to plumb on the floor as in the fake. You were the alcove of a real. What about 20 countenance gonna wrote back? It's why had been fairly grabbed the fake. Is not that quite thrilling? Quote, a catchy detective began to say that strange. Edge. I what is? Joke. Pleased to sloppy. If the alcove of the tower is real. Nothing palm so much commotion. Fake this is the Kidono-kun was made with the pains I what it is. I had much shiny glowing. I plating. Quote, do not plated or plated, look to one well investigated. A catchy while good. Press the hidden button on the wooden frame. From to stop the infrared defense equipment. Casually and lift the top part of the tower. Was held out in front of the Atori's eye. State of the detective, because the thing's hair too much self-confidence. Is put pull also attached to Tori said, and receive a portion of the tower. Began to look at it thoroughly. While you are looking at a moment, Atori's complexion has changed. On the cheek had been pale, eye pale has been pierced. Eyes that had become vacant is. It was beginning to shine hope. Oh, how about when absorbing it? Kidono-kun, this is some solid gold real. Plated s not. It s gold of the real to the core. I earth because this is what was. Atori, Mr. trembling with joy, flew to the alcove, the rest of the tower, but was carefully examined. The it that for many years, dealing with precious metal goods. Immediately, it is everything. Gold and genuine it was found is. Akechi-san, as you say, this is the real thing. Oh, survived was 20 countenance when stealing a fake. However, who, unnoticed, would have replaced the real and the fake. To house it should also not alone those who know the secret. It, in this room, constantly, because I had luck as eagle. Like Nanti replaced should did not. But, quote, it is I was allowed to replace ordered. A catchy detective was answered Suhara as ever. For example, do you have? Was Nasu who commanded you so? Atori said, surprisingly that unexpectedly inherit just another motherfucking. The geek with recently. Yeah, and we'll have a maid that was good. Yes, I have you. I'll be the daughter of your Chio hired in the introduction. That's right, that girl little or no please read here. In Chio, something misuse have happened? Yes, we have important errands. Please be saying as soon come. A catchy detective was to break the ice that a more and more funny. Atori said while Mankarai was attracted immediately called Chio. Readers gentlemen would your memory. because Chio had except for the off-and-back parlor. You of that pretty mysterious girl. Soon, was a brilliant chic as apples. Cute pigtails of the girl has appeared at the entrance of the parlor. Sick, come here. The detective was not sick, the girl to his buckwheat. Then, the Golden Tower was to begin a description of the replacement. Atori-san, but you have the tower of the real thing. When Rashi trying to fill to the bottom of the floor, it was happened a fire in the back of the shed. Yeah, it is not. Well, you know, but so what if? That fire also, matter of fact, I commanded a certain person, I was allowed to put fire. Edge, what is? You are wearing fire? Oh, Eagle, what is? Somehow, I have become not know at all. No, in it had a purpose, although you have been distracted by the fire. In between that had Nasu, this room to the absence. I was the replacement of quickly Golden Tower, that had been hidden under the floor, stacked to restore alcove, the alcove of fake. It had been put to the floor. Ye that are to come back from Kajiva. No way. In between that, such swapped was and is carried out, because the thing which is not depend also think, as it is, buried my better of fake under the floor. We the alcove of the real had crowded I think fake. Quote, really? I see, hey, that fire is us. For you paddle was the standing Sarasaru trick from this room. However, well, when you do so, is not that I should purchase decisions to say to Chadawashi. Nothing caused to fire even without. In the Eagle itself, what has replaced the real and the fake? Quote, Atori Mr. Isada unhappy. But I had a reason that cannot be so. That it will be discussed later. Because I did the replacement of the tower. It is who the hell? No way you are not mean the Nasu, in yourself. It is this maid did. This man, it was me served as my assistant. Really, Chio is his physician. In such a quiet girl, well, I was able to do that. My husband is taken aback. I watched the face of the pretty girl. Ha ha ha, Chio, not a girl. You, please put on your eyes to take the wig. When the detective is ordered, while the girl is smiling. And I think that suddenly one grabbed the hair of his head with both hands. It was I have Mushi, shot and pull. Then, from under it, Yusun shy of his head appeared, was thought to the girl just as you the real, was a lovely boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce. This is Mr. Yoshio Kobayashi, detective assistant to Ask and my right-hand man. The turn of events has been successful. Please doing it all thanks to the Kobayashi-kun. Compliment. Akechi detective Israel's proud. Looking at the Kobayashi boy of treasured disciple. Was the laugh smiling? Oh, what a surprise. Boy detective chief Mr. Yoshio Kobayashi. Garbled the maid of puss. I had entered the Atori clock shop. Then, I had kuways full of fairly 20 countenance. Really? Hey, we're surprised. Nanti you was a boy. Yo, I did not notice no one thing out. I was willing to work quite well. I is about who is willing to have hope and indebted a good person. Kobayashi. Thank you. Thank you. I was do not lose any heirloom thanks. Akechis. You will have a good disciple. I am your happiness. Quote, Atori said, while joy and hoku, and to just do stroked the Kobayashi-kun of the head, was to say thank you. Is but, Mr. Akechi, I sometimes it is only one regret. The best 20 guy countenances. From somewhere. I was talking to Eagles us. I was scoffed saying look at Zama. You there. Purchase decisions come quickly another pair. You might have caught the guy. I was indeed unfortunate that. Quote, also Atori said, even irreversible Golden Tower. The inventing of the thief. And or not is at a later date or attacked. You have bad sleeping seed me. Atori-san, please do not worry. 20 countenance will yes captured properly. Akechi detective was known to say frankly that's surprising. Edge. The 210 countenance. Do you have Nasu caught? When? Where? And I have to where is that guy now? Atori said too much of it, the word is also flustered. 20 countenances. You're in this room. I'm in front of our eyes. The voice of the detective was Hibiki gravely. Oh, in this room. I mean, as you can see in this room. Or in addition to the eagle, as 4 people do not have no one. Or, you have even hidden somewhere, Kai. No, I do not have Nanzo hidden. 20 countenances, you know, is not that being there. Well, good. Our detective did laugh in meaning hair in a smile. Readers, gentlemen, a catchy detective says what? Will began to say that there is no better bet. A Tory Mr. also Kadono manager was also turned, saw that it would be his eyes were somehow. The Purin restlessly. But, we do not have anything's appearances in the room. Oh, so I thought, by 20 countenances that magic. Disguised in things like gas. Do you have any standing still in the corner of somewhere in this room? Then, the who of the eyes of the figure of the monster detective Kogoro Akachi not visible to the eye only. Do we have clearly moved? Kimi's 20 countenance. A Tory Mr. surprised. I looked around the inside of restlessly in room. However, we do not see anywhere such as the appearance of pirates. Ha ha ha. Here's an addition to the eagle who 4 people as Gojoden. Is not that not anyone? Indeed. In the 10-mat tatami room that Shimeki, the door, and Atori's husband, in addition to the 4 people of Kadono and Akachi detective and Kobayashi boy of the old manager, is. We do not have anyone. Exactly, Akechi will of what you are saying. I think in my head is somehow. Yes, here, we only 4 people. However, 20 countenances still of being in this room. Teacher, your words. Watakushius do not know is not refreshing in. What's there in you mind saying more details? Old manager of gray hairs while sheepishly asked the detective. Law, in you also do not know yet? Or you're in where the 20 countenance. Want and I you say you listen. Are you sure you want to say it? Akechi from staring at the face of the old manager told me the meaning Harry. Edge, and what you say? Kadono old man returned for some reason. Look at the detective as scaring. Whose 20 countenance do that may be Suppanui? In the eyes of Akechi, intense light, such as lightning shine. I glared at jerk opponent. Old manager, as was even Benai Sukume in the eye, without a word to return, was face down involuntarily eyes. Ha ha ha, hey, 20 countenance, hey, it was garbled, how dare. Do like nodded just like the old man of 60. But, it is not possible to cheat my eyes. You're, Kimi's 20 countenance, quote, and, ridiculous. It's such a foolish thing as. Kadono manager is turned pale, tried to excuse. Atori's husband also, it will crispy words. Akechi teacher, it would be our misunderstanding of something. This Kadono is dutifully who have served in the shop of the parent generation Kariwashi. This man is Nanny's 20 countenance. There is no way. No. Are you? 20 countenance that is a large master of disguise. I have become a wager. I see. Kadono-kun of the real would be Mr. Dutifully a clerk. However, this man is a Kadono-kun there is not. Shortly after there that notices 20 countenances in confinement to the location of the Kadono Mr. True. I myself spoofing garbled in Kadono-kun. It had been at work in the shop. No, we do not only were we go to work in the shop. Kadono also to the home of Mr. had returned brazenly every night. Even the people in the family. It did not notice any. Quote, oh, well there may be such a thing. Now, the old man standing in front of the eyes is much like how you look even Kadono manager. Where to one? There is no suspicious places. Heck, I think that it is so clever disguise. Everyone is taken aback, staring at the face of Akechi detective. It was just at that time. Oh, again, out of nowhere. Or does not that terrible voice has been heard? Foo. Hey, he keeps that also decrepit teacher Akechi. 20 countenance the desperation to which mist opened. Nanny will chakuseo the crime to the old man who does not know anything. Hey, teacher. Eyes. Look good. You've got to be here. 20 countenances see I'm here. Quote, oh, what that fearless pirate still do you have hidden somewhere in this room? Teacher, is there? That is the 20 countenance. After all, heard from the ceiling. You can see. There is no, as Kidono you. Kidono-kun, I do not have 20 countenance. A Tory said, such as the one which does not withstand the fear. While pointing it along the ceiling, did whisper. However, Akechi detective does not stir any. Leave it, Mum. We patiently Barbs look at the Atori, he said. If, as suddenly, out of nowhere, we have sounded completely different voice. Hey, children's play is good Pearl River. What I think, even if do not know ventriloquism. Ha ha ha. Atori Mr. heard it. It has scared the creeps. Oh, you'll be a wonder that what? It was the voice of Akechi detective unquestionably. It from the ceiling is the voice of Akechi has been sounded. Moreover, the question detective in front of the eye has been sitting quietly mum. It is totally witch. Akechi detective. It does not only believe to become Futaria suddenly. Did you can see. Is what that husband. This is ventriloquism. Mouth is the way to say things do not move even a little. As of now and say those blocking the eye thus mouth. Direction was like unlike the eye here coming is from. If you ceiling is also like a ceiling. You hear is from under the floor if you under the floor. How did you can see? Quote, now is the time. It all also in a Tory Mr. became apparent that there is a thing called ventriloquism is. Had also heard the story a Tory said. Voices from the best. If everyone was a ventriloquist. Is completely there add up. Also, such as the ceiling or under the floor of looking so much. Not the figure of 20 countenance has not been found. I know well. So, after all 20 countenances do you have garbage in Kidono old man? A Tory Mr. still dubious of the eyes. Was staring at intently Kidono old man. Kidono old man has turned pale. However, not visible yet discouraged the state. Face full of strangely what is smiled a laugh. Began to say something. What is the ventriloquist? Oh, why is Watakushi? Let's have proposed such a magic. Akechi teacher. Are so much. This Watakushi is Nanny's pirates of the terrible 20 countenance. Unexpected also depend think at all. In Nurjinu there. Quote, however, the unexpected ender words of this old man is finished. The wooden doors of the room. The sound of tapping from the outside and tapping was heard. That's who. Late and after if errands. Do not come in now. When the Atori Mr. and shouting in a loud voice. I heard an unexpected voice to the outside of the wooden doors. There Watakushi. There a Kidono. Hey, you please open it here. Edge Kidono dat, you are really Kidono-kun either. Atori said with consternation. Held a hurriedly wooden doors. Then, oh, behold, Kidono manager unmistakable in there. Or does not stood in the haggard appearance. Husband, sorry, we have not found indeed sorry. And I met in a terrible eye out for bandits. There then had we started to help with earlier. The teacher Akechi, Kidono old man while the per apology. Find the Kidono the other alone in the room. Cried involuntarily. Oh, you're as who on earth? Quote, it would have been a strange sight of what? No, rather than a mysterious, such as Sokadatsu and Zo. It was downright dumb terrible plight. There are, as copy in like a mirror. I totally futari of the old man of the same face. And Niramiya in the burning hostility eyes. Had been confronted. Not a sight such as that nightmare even to the terrible dream. No one. I do not have one that stuck unless others say things. During a few tens of seconds. Such as rotation of the movie was stopped suddenly. We continued the eerie still and silence. Broke the stillness. And someone out of 5 starts to move in vigorous momentum. Then, Kobayashi boy wearing the clothes of the girl. Oh, teacher, 20 countenances. Quote, and shouting, there was in a loud voice. Indeed 20 countenance also. Kidono manager of authentic is appeared. was luck of the other luck. Try how fighting will was realized that there is no mi wins also. He jumped to the floor, which was supposed to remain raised Yanivani to Tommy. Then, a monk he'd say is something bend over there. As suddenly, I was angry as bizarre that hard to believe at all. Wonder, between I think up, the figure of false manager, even to liken the soil. As he slipped, I have vanished. Once again, 20 countenances. Did you use the magic? He is after all. Did you knows about how the art of garbled to what something such as a gas flight? Ha ha ha, I do not anything amazing. 20 countenances. I fled to the bottom of the soil. Kogoro Akechi is not making noise even a little. By turning look at the people who have been taken aback. I explained, edged soil into, exactly it is you mean. Atori said as reflective listening and surprised. I had been digging a secret escape hole in the soil. Edge is missing the hole. It's right. 20 countenance in order to steal the golden tower. In advance. Keep digging a hole missing to the individual under the floor. Garbled to manager. To or else loyalty face. You in the tower of the real. To the floor. I was recommended that the Uzumeru. Then, come in Shinan from the hole missing those of subordinates. Just a tower at the entrance of the hole. It is not that the left has not even what the elephant is. Pirates of the foot after the did not missing is the norm. Instead of walking on the ground, I because I've been crawling in the soil. Quote, but, although I had been seen a Uzumeru rough to the floor, it seems there was no one seems to hole missing a partners. It is because I'd been Futagashi, or, look well to come here, to cover the top of the hole in a large iron plate. I soil had been covered. Now, 20 countenances open the iron plate. I jumped into the hole. Drown out so was no longer visible. Because that, quote, Atori Mr. also Kodono old man also Kobayashi boy also. By buckwheat in a hurry. We looked under the floor. Really to each other throwing is a piece of iron plate is in there. Is a large hole, such as the old well near the black the such mouth was open. Integral, well this hole is then to anywhere. When you asked to Atori Mr. Akirihate, Akechi was answered immediately. Are you Shirinui anything and everything? There will be board at home in this behind. Missing holes are you missing to the autumn home floor? If you do not chase early in, or is not escapes, teacher, please around quickly toward the autumn house. Atori said, is Choshi that care anymore is not a gas. Ha ha ha, there, thing that there is Nukari. That at the outlet of the autumn house of missing holes. Subordinates of Nakamura investigation chief is. I have been the beam seen 5 people. By now hit the guy it is the hour and minute you are captured. Quote, oh, hey we're readier? Well until there was true. Thank you, thanks. Thing that I also sleep by increasing the pillow from tonight. Atori Mr. Nadia Roshi the chest of relief was to thank the shrewd treatment of detective. However, 20 countenance, as expected of Akechi, a policeman of really 5 people, would have been arrested, is the king in the name of witchcraft thief. By chance, to exert a surprising of cunning. I think things like scratching the back of the stratagem of the detective. Oh, is not it somehow mind Kakari? At that time, in the whole omission of darkness will had exactly happened is what? 20 countenance was garbled in Kodono old man, and spoofing look at the people off guard, and dive into the hole missing a package, so as to crawl through the narrow hole, like an akugu, such as Maol. The opposite I hurried to the outlet of the clock shop alley, because Aki house, from the back parlor, because you immediately to the place separates the narrow garden and fence. The length of the missing hole there are only about 20 meters. 20 countenance, first after having borrowed the autumn house, ordered subordinates, so as not known to the people. It was dug a hole missing on the fly. So, rather than time to build with stone wood and bricks inside, just like the old-fashioned coal mines, in the frame of logs, called a roof prevents the fall of the soil. is a shabby missing hole. Also wide. It is finally alone. This such as the walk crawl. 20 countenance. Taken soil covered, but went crawling there. Come down to the bottom of the exit in the autumn the house. And I think except for the highway and outside, the neck and the state in which something scaring AI have withdrawn. Son of a bitch, or the other hand has been around. He is to tut-tut to a mashi so, reluctantly, also began turning back. In the darkness of the outside of the hole, because black people cage of large tax could be seen. What's more, it is Rashiku policemen everyone uniforms. Grip of the eaves and pistols the cap is. It looked glowing and slightly shiny even in the darkness. Oh, 20 countenance, and the like. It has become rat bag. No, it has become mole in the hole. Also expected of Kyozoku is no longer luck of luck. 5 police officers if all goes before. Returning behind. Are you scared of catchy name detective waiting more than anyone? You also cannot retreat to advance. Say, 20 countenance not a mole is. Such a damp. In a dark hole, you will need to sit still forever. However, we do not see also state that Waikato is terribly troubled. He is in the darkness. And you turn back to the middle of the exit hole, from the point at which became the recess of the bottom of the wall. A kind of something furoshiki wrapping was taken out. Hedon. University. 20 countenances I had a what LL not coconut discouraged. Enemy is here's a 10 if put out a 5. 10 it's 20 be put out. Trying to arrow and is such available here. It is also expected of the name Detective Dono. And my there, you know. 20 is not to you without countenance of the character argument to impossible character. Foo. Quote. He, while refers to such food she himself, opened the thing seems to wrapping cloth wrapped. Then, from among them, police cap and uniform, batons, such as shoes have appeared. Oh, what a precaution Bukasa, for in the unlikely event that it is ye into the hole missing. It had been hidden costumes for such a disguise. My husband, do not forget. First Chaa Naku, drop the wrinkles of hair dye and face. 20 countenances, muttering like a joke, taken out the silver case from the flashlight. You wipe carefully the head and face, tear the cotton impregnated with volatile oil in it. The terracotta wipe, the tear wipe, to one that is repeated time and again. Known of old man head, become a hair that imperceptibly was black people, or caught without a trace even facial wrinkles. Waka shi I have behalf of the youth. And this is settled for. Come on, I'm finally become policeman. Early instead of the usual thief to policeman in Gazai. 20 countenances, to the feel cramped, while the chakuge in the darkness, and so unbearably or else happy. It did begin even blow low whistle, because the Bakavaki house, but was a merchant of Japan denominated, also in the back parlor, just in the same way as a Tory clock shop in the back parlor. And the like is one of the tatami. Flooring is removed. Black under the soil had appeared. In the middle of the soil. Here is not like the lid of the iron plate. I mouth of the hole missing the gaping is wide open. Around the missing hole, 5 people of uniform police. Or standing under the floor. Or sat on the tatami. Or standing around in the parlor. Had continued to beam staring. Of course electric light is sukazu. To the provision of case of emergency. Ufutari and have brought a flashlight. Akeshi's a little more quickly after me to discover this missing hole. Also a fellow of the minions who stole the tower. But I was able to hit Araeru it. One of the policemen, in whisper, told me regretfully. Once captured, but even 20 countenance rounded up something minions. Do not you say dat it stolen tower is fake. Once you anyway even caught boss. He keeps of here. Oh, do not come out early I guess. Quote, police officers of distinction is while rubbing the arm, wait etc. I answer dumb likely, to refrain from sucking tobacco, etc. Waiting patiently in the darkness press of, I feel like has stopped is like time. Hey, Z seems something sounded. Edge, where'da? That is for have a degree go involuntarily stood up, grabbed a flashlight. Nanda, do not you rat. Question 20 Countenances even after forever, it did not represent the appearance. But, oh, it is now Furudo. Is a human being. Man has heard a noise coming, crawled out of the hole. Sound disturbed the smooth and soil. We breath. Is finally 20 Countenance came that ha ha ha. 5 people policemen is all at once stood up. Was previously only. Round light of 2 of the flashlight. Was against the entrance of the package and the hole from the left and right. Hey, I'm me, it is me. Surprisingly, the person that has crawled the hole, not imposing a familiarity likely voice. It is not a thief. It was one of the young policemen. But is a strange face. Well, surely the cop of the police station of this district. Thief has what? Escape. I was one. One of the policemen who was seeing the beam was asked to Fushinso. No, I caught another. In Akechi's guidance. Those of my signature is. Defense is good to arrest the. Please go to there ye also early. As I say, the inspection of the missing hole soaked was you. By chance ithin that or similar does not ya hidden. However, I did not have nobody. Quote, the young policeman, while said Japan mini handcuffs, barely crawl out of the hole, stood in front of 5 people. Nanda, I went to another arrest. This is. You know that wasted too much trouble the spirit Gonda. I have disappointed, no, rather than was disappointed, and deprived of their hands grounds to those of other departments. I complained to no small extent. From Akechi-san, because you valley, want Naku, a longer look at the beam. Early I was that please come here. I'm a little, because they're errands to the police station. And impoliteness in this, quote, the young policeman said that snappy. Through the darkness, walked toward the front door of Gungan Autumn House. Marginalized 5 policemen, in a somewhat unpleasant feeling. Not accustomed to feel that move suddenly. Nanda, boring, muttering and the like, but I was procrastinating. Eventually, one of among them, cried as I realized with a start. Hey, Z strange. That man. Well, nice to have been ordered an investigation of the missing hole. Not even reported. Nanti back to the police station. Or not you do not meet a little makes sense. Come to think of it. I funny. To examine the inside of him hole. Or not it was not even wearing flashlight. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.